So today we are doing something that I know a lot of you have been curious about. A short asymmetric undercut with length kept through the front and side, a textured spiky crown area, and beautiful color contrast with dark underneath and blonde throughout. It is edgy, it is modern, it is completely chic. And by the end of this video, I want you to see exactly how it is done so you can take this inspiration straight to your own stylist. Let us get into it. The color foundation. Before we get to the cutting technique, I want to quickly walk you through the color work we did earlier because it plays a huge role in the overall finished look. We used a 3N shade on the back and around the perimeter to create that beautiful deep dark base that you can see peeking through underneath the blonde sections. Then, throughout the top and interior sections, we applied the 3N mixed with bleach in a weaving technique to create depth and dimension within the blonde. The result is a beautifully contrasted look that has warmth and richness rather than a flat, single-toned blonde. That dark underneath color does something particularly special for Carolyn specifically. It complements her eyes in a way that really makes them pop. And that warmth and depth in the color is exactly what keeps this look feeling sophisticated rather than harsh. Color and cut working together is always the goal. And today, you are going to see exactly how beautifully that combination can come together. The undercut foundation. Now, before I began the cutting today, I had already done the clipper work on the sides and back. For Carolyn, we used a number 4 guard on the sides and a number 6 through the back, then blended those two lengths together for a seamless and clean transition. This creates the undercut foundation that the rest of the haircut builds upon. The finished undercut shows approximately 1 inch of that beautiful dark color underneath along the perimeter, which creates that gorgeous contrast detail that makes this cut so distinctive and so modern. Now I want to show you exactly how I am taking this from the clipped undercut foundation up into the longer textured top section. This is where the real skill of this particular cut lives. The crown and top section. We are starting up here in the crown area first. What I am doing is point cutting into this section rather than cutting it straight across. Point cutting is a technique where you hold your scissors vertically and cut into the ends of the hair in small upward snipping motions rather than cutting horizontally across. This creates a much softer and more textured finish that gives the hair movement and personality rather than a blunt, rigid line. Carolyn loves her hair messy, textured, and full of personality. And honestly, the way she styles her hair at home is genuinely impressive. She has a natural instinct for making short hair look incredible, whether it is pulled into something spiky and fun or worn with a relaxed, tousled energy. That kind of confident personal styling is honestly half the battle with a cut like this. So as I am working through this crown section, I am holding the hair up and away from the head and cutting it so that it is shorter through the upper crown, but still retains length as I move toward the back. This is very intentional. I want to make sure there is still enough length in the back section so that when the hair falls, it creates that beautiful, longer underside effect that is characteristic of a well-executed undercut. See how I am pulling this section upward? When I do that and cut it, the hair that is underneath that elevation will be longer when I release it. So even though the very top of the crown section is being cut shorter, the underneath has that retained length that falls down and creates the visual fullness and the beautiful shape through the back. Connecting the crown to the back. Now I am going to come through and connect this crown section to the back. I want to make sure the top is definitively shorter so Carolyn can work with it and create that spiky lifted texture she loves, while the back still has that beautiful length that falls down and contributes to the overall shape of the cut. Right now I am using point cutting throughout this area rather than straight cutting anywhere through the top. The reason is simple. Different lengths throughout the section create different movement and different texture. When every strand in a section is cut to the exact same length, the hair sits flat and uniform. When you have variation in length throughout a section, achieved through point cutting, the hair has natural movement, natural dimension, and a much more organic and interesting finish. You can see the difference clearly as I work through this section. The variation in length is visible, and that variation is exactly what makes this haircut so wearable and so full of personality. The asymmetric angle through the side and front. Now we are moving into what I think is the most exciting technical element of this particular haircut: the asymmetric angle through the side and into the front. Carolyn wants the haircut to be short through the top and the crown area so that the dark undercolor shows beautifully. But she loves her length through the front and the side, and she wants to keep that. So we are creating a genuine asymmetric effect where the hair transitions from short at the top into a longer length as it moves toward the front. To achieve this, I am cutting on a diagonal angle rather than horizontally. Cutting on an angle means that the hair on the longer side of the angle will retain more length, while the shorter side creates that graduated shorter effect through the crown and side. So I am coming in on this angle, cutting through the section, and you can see that the hair is short up here through the crown, but because of the angle I am cutting at, the length increases as I move toward the front and the side. This is exactly the asymmetric effect we are going for, and it is what gives this haircut its modern and distinctive character. Through the bang area, I am being very gentle and minimal. Carolyn is genuinely loving her bangs at the moment, and I do not want to take any unnecessary length away from that area. A very light trim just to keep things tidy, but the length stays. Texturizing for movement and lift. Now that the cutting lines are established, it is time to do the texturizing work. And for a haircut like this, texturizing is absolutely essential. Carolyn has a lot of hair. It is on the finer side in terms of individual strand thickness, but she has a huge volume of it, which means, without texturizing, this cut would sit heavy and flat rather than light and lifted and full of the personality and movement that makes it so beautiful. I am starting with the texturizing shears to remove bulk through the mid-length and slightly toward the root area, never at the scalp itself, always through the mid-length and toward the ends. The texturizing shears are removing weight without removing length, which is exactly what we need through this section. Then I am switching to the chunkier texturizing shears and working through the top and the side. These shears cut in a more dramatic way, creating larger sections of variation in length that will help the hair stand up and move even in the areas where we are keeping it longer. This is the detail that separates a flat haircut from one that has genuine life and personality in it. The texturizing work here is what allows Carolyn to run her fingers through her hair, shake it out, and have it look absolutely incredible with almost no effort. Blow drying for volume and movement. Now we are applying the Kenra mousse through the hair before we blow dry. I am working it through all sections, making sure every part of the hair has product support for the blow drying process. With Carolyn's hair specifically, I love to blow dry it back and forth in different directions, rather than always drying in the direction the hair is going to sit. Drying in different directions alternately creates natural movement and volume in the hair that directional drying simply cannot replicate. I am drying it this way, then going the other way, and the movement and lift that comes from this technique is genuinely beautiful. You can see the hair starting to develop that lifted, separated texture that is going to be so perfect for the finished style. Checking the cut dry. One of the principles I always work with for short textured haircuts is that you check the cut again once the hair is dry. Short hair behaves very differently wet versus dry. Lengths that looked right when the hair was wet can look different once all that moisture is gone and the hair sits naturally. So, before I add any paste or do any final styling, I am turning Carolyn around so she can feel the cut, see how it sits, and tell me if she wants any adjustments. She loves the little pieces through the part area that can be styled to stick up and out, which is very much her personality. I am just making sure there is enough separation and definition in those pieces that she can play with them exactly the way she loves to when she is doing her hair at home. A good haircut does not just look great in the salon. It has to be genuinely workable at home by the person who is going to be styling it every single morning. That is always my priority, and that is what I am checking for right now. Final styling with paste and flat iron. Now for the finishing touches that bring this whole look together. I am taking the styling paste and working it through the hair by grabbing and lifting sections rather than smoothing it through. This technique helps maintain that lifted, separated texture rather than flattening anything down. You can see how the dark underneath color creates that beautiful contrast as I piece out the sections on top. The dark peeking through the blonde, through the crown and bang area is genuinely stunning, and it is what gives this cut its edge and its distinctiveness. Through the bang section, I am going over with the flat iron just to smooth out the natural curl that Carolyn has through that area. She prefers the bang area to be slightly straighter and more sleek, while the rest of the cut has all that beautiful texture and movement. The flat iron here just pieces things out and creates the clean lines through the front that balance the textured energy through the crown. And this is actually something worth noting for anyone with natural curl who is considering this kind of cut. This asymmetric undercut works beautifully on naturally curly hair as well. The clipped sides with the number 4 and the number 6 take all the curl weight off the sides and back, which can actually be incredibly freeing if you have been managing curly sides for years. And then the top can either be flat ironed as we have done today, or worn in its natural curl state depending on the mood and the occasion. The finished look. And here she is. The complete finished look. A number 6 in the back. A number 4 on the sides. A seamless blend connecting the two. A beautifully short and textured crown that shows off that gorgeous dark undercolor. A longer length that flows through the front and the side with a gentle bang. And that beautiful color contrast of warm dark depth underneath and dimensional blonde throughout. Carolyn, you look absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for letting me share your transformation with this community today, and for being the wonderful, fun, fearless, and completely fabulous woman that you are. This community at Chic at Every Age is so much richer for having met you today. If you have been thinking about a short textured cut or an asymmetric undercut, and this video has given you the inspiration or the information you needed, please drop a comment below and let me know. I read every single one personally, and I genuinely love hearing about the style journeys you are all on. And if you have any questions about the techniques, the products, the color process, or anything else you saw in this video, ask me in the comments. I am always happy to help. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with someone who might love it. And subscribe to Chic at Every Age if you have not already so you never miss a new video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this community, and thank you for reminding me every single week why I love what I do. I will see you in the next video, right here on Chic at Every Age. Stay chic, stay intentional, and remember, true elegance only deepens with time.